Hey guys, today we're going to be making this Cedar Viking chair or camping chair, depending on who you ask. It's a pretty good looking chair. It looks good by the campfire or on a deck. It's a pretty simple project. It's just, this was a single slab that I cut into the two boards to make the back and the seat. It's a good first time project or a good project to make with your kid because it's fairly simple and you get fairly quick results, which, kids have no patience. So it's a good project for that. So I hope you enjoy the video and let's get started.
We're starting with a 7-foot cedar slab that's roughly 16 inches wide, give or take. Now, my lip sync is a little out because my audio file got corrupted, so bear with me. The slab was weathered on one side and it was cut fresh on the other, so you're going to get a sneak peek at all the nice color in the slab, all the purples and reds. It's a really good looking slab. Now I got a line marked here in the middle with an X after it. I'm going to get rid of this material here because there's a knot here and it's separating, so it's a little unstable, so I'm just going to get rid of that area right there. Now I'm going to use the side on your right as the back or the seat, and then the side on the left is going to be the chair back. So let's get started.
All right, so the first thing I think I'm going to do is cut away this area. I keep getting snagged on this sharp piece over here, this little branch that was cut off. It's hard to tell from the angle you're seeing it, but it's pretty sharp and it keeps hooking my clothes. And this knot is not too stable here, and there's some rot in the end grain here. So I'm just gonna get rid of this piece, and then I'm probably gonna move down and cut the center out.
Okay, my conventional size jigsaw blades were too short to cut through the slab. The slab's close to 2 inches, not quite 2 inches. So I'm switching out to an extra long blade. I think it's about 4 inches, and that's plenty long to get through the slab. So I got the idea for this project online. I think I was flipping through either Instagram or Facebook, and I saw someone had a picture of a Viking chair on there. And I had about a week to fill in because I was waiting for materials for another project, and I thought this would be a good project to fill that time with. So I went down to my local lumber mill, Urban Specialty Woods, and he had this 7-foot cedar slab laying around that looked really pretty, but it wasn't without issues. You can see the spalting or rotting at the end there that I'm trying to cut out. And also you can see how far some of those splits go, so that's another reason why I'm cutting so much out of the top. I think I probably overpaid a little for this, but it was there and I needed something, and no slab is perfect, so you just make do with what's around. So I'm just finishing up this cut here. You can see the piece that fell off, that's how far that split went. That piece just split in half by itself.
All right, so the next thing I'm going to do here is kind of find the center of this board. So down this end, I'm about 6 1/8 inches. Down this end, it's about 6 1/2 inches. And the reason why I'm finding the center is so I can scribe a line down the center, and then this line is going to be the reference that I'm going to do my 90-degree lines so that I can do my cross cuts. So what I'll do now that I have that line down the center, I can hold my square. Wow, this line is really thin, it's hard to see, but I can hold my square on this line, and then I can get my cross cuts, and I'll know that my cross cuts are now a 90-degree to that center line. So that's what we're doing now. Okay, now that I have my cross cut lines on here, I'm going to cut the seat and the head out. From what I saw online looking at these chairs, these components are anywhere from 28 to 30 inches long. So I have 33 inches here to work with, and I have even more for the back. So that's what I'm going to rough cut it at for now.
No, I didn't feel like breaking out the track saw to make these two cuts, so I'm just using the DeWalt battery powered here. And it doesn't have any dust collection, which stinks because it makes a mess, but the cedar does smell nice, I have to say that. It has a nice aroma to it, and it's really easy to cut, so it was kind of nice working with it. I haven't worked with cedar in a long time, and I forgot how nice it was to work with.
All right, so now I have my two pieces here. This is going to be the seat and the leg, and this will be the back, and I guess it will be a leg also. So what I did is I came and I measured 12 inches for my seat area, and then I still have that center line down my board. I'm going to use my centering ruler here, and I'm going to mark 4 inches on each side so that I have 8 inches. And I'm going to come down to the bottom, and I think I'm going to make that about 6 inches, so 3 inches on each side. So it's a little, I guess the wider it is down here, the more stable it will be. Like I said, I've never made one of these before, so this is all an experiment. And I'll connect these two lines and cut that taper, and then that's going to go through the slot that I'm going to put on the back. So the back will be this way, the seat will be this way. There's going to be somewhere over here, there'll be a slot cut where the seat and leg will slide through it. So let's cut this taper now. Okay, to cut this taper for the leg, the kickstand, I think I'm just going to use the circular saw and then finish it off with either a handsaw or a jigsaw. So here we go.
Now you can see all of that smoke, or what looks like smoke coming out. It's actually just really fine sawdust. The cedar's soft, so it wasn't burning. It was just sawdust.
Whew, dusty, but it's cedar, so at least it smells good. All right, so I'm just going to finish the shoulder cuts up with the jigsaw.
I think this is a new one, an ear blocking the shot.
Okay, so now it's time to lay out where our hole is going to go, where the seat leg is going to go through this board. And originally, I was going to go off of my center line, equal distances, and then bore the hole out that way. But then I remember this is an organic shape. This line isn't really center in any one location. I kind of found close to the center at the top, close to the center at the bottom, or vice versa, and drew a line. So this may or may not be in the center. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this seat part, and I'm going to hold it up here on the line, how it's actually going to sit, and then I am going to mark the outside edges that way. This way, I know I'm looking good on both sides with my overhang. So the seat part is actually a little bit wider than the back. All right, and then now that I have my outside edges, I'll finish this box. I think this is 1 inch and 7/8, so I'll finish making that box. I think what I'm going to do is bore a hole and then cut it out with the jigsaw. So let's get to it.
Oh, look at those shop shoes. Someone should call OSHA. So this long jigsaw blade that I'm using is actually a little bit wider, and it's also a little thicker than my regular blades, and you kind of have to go forward and backwards to chip away so that you can swing an arc with it. That's why it looks like I'm having such a rough time cutting this. It's actually cutting pretty easy. It's just I'm going forward, backwards, forward, backwards, forward, backwards, so that I could swing that arc without bending the blade or overheating it.
Okay, let's see how we did here. All right, so looks like I have to do a little sanding. I did chamfer the edges a little bit just to make it a little easier. Chamfer that edge, that edge, that edge, that edge. But yeah, it's pretty close. So let me just hit it with a little sandpaper and see what that does. Okay, I don't really have anything that fits in here, so I just stapled some 100 grit onto, or maybe it's 80 grit onto a scrap piece of poplar. And that seems to work pretty good. So we hit this for a couple of minutes and see if we can get it to fit. Okay, a little bit of sanding, a little bit of filing, and she's fitting in. There we go, nice. Okay, there she is sitting upright now. So now that I got her put together, what I'm gonna do now is mark the angle that this leg needs to be cut at. So I'm just gonna grab this because it covers the angle or it covers this gap for the angle. And I'm just gonna trace along the bottom here. And this is the angle I'm gonna cut at so that it sits flat to the floor. And then on the tail leg here, I think I'm gonna cut a little chamfer here as well, but I'm gonna cut this side first and see how that looks, and then we'll address this.
Okay, so I'm just using the track saw to cut a shallow angle on the bottom of this leg. I think it was about 15 degrees or so.
Oh yeah, that looks nice. Maybe round the edges a little bit. Okay, what are we gonna do on the tail now? Yeah, I think we'll just give it a little chamfer right there. Maybe 3/4 of an inch or so. All right, let's cut that. Okay, since none of my saws could really cut this much of an angle here, and this is cedar, and it's only a small little piece here, about 5 inches, 5.5 inches, I think I'm just gonna sand that angle on there. Okay, that took about 2 minutes. Looks pretty good. Okay, I'm liking how that's sitting, so the only thing left to do now is clean up the back, give it a little bit more shaping and some sanding, and we'll be ready for some finish.
Okay, here's the real boring stuff, but I have to at least show that it was done. Don't worry, I'll only show about a minute of the 2 hours or so that it took to do. Okay, so my original intent with this chair was to leave the backside natural. But what happened was when I started cleaning out the bark and that little valley there on the left side, there was a spot where it went all the way through and it was really weak, so I needed to stabilize it with some epoxy. I did that off camera, and then I just filled some of the other bigger fissures in the back as well. And now I'm just cleaning it up with the card scraper, getting it ready for sanding.
I had a leak here, so that's what these big drip marks were. The first pour leaked all over the table and floor, so I had to clean it up and redo it. And because of these big drip marks here, it's going to be hard to clean this up with this card scraper.
So I'm going to be using a new tool that I got from SpeTools, and the exciting part is, dum da da da.
Okay, so I am actually going to be doing a review of this sled setup in an upcoming video, and SpeTool has also given me another flattening bit to give away, so I'll also be doing the giveaway in that video as well. So if you want to get in on the giveaway, hit the subscribe and notify button so you don't miss out on the details. All right, back to the slab.
So like I said, I'll be going over all of the features of this sled setup in my next video, but I just wanted to mention being able to go on both the X and the Y axis really makes a big difference. Being able to go with the grain long ways really is easier, and there's a much better finish to the surface. And again, we'll go over this in the next video, so stay tuned for that. Nice and flat and smooth. That jig works wonderfully. Okay, last step before finishing, sanding. Don't worry, we're only going to show less than a minute of this. Oh, and hand sanding too, I forgot. Luckily, I'm not going for a very refined finish on this piece, so the sanding is minimal. I just want to get the really dirty spots off, the sharp spots or the really rough spots, just enough to make it comfortable. And we're finishing this with teak oil. So teak oil's a fairly easy finish to put on. You just wipe it on, you wipe off the excess. But the reason why I use it is it's very easy to maintain, especially for something that might be out in the weather. You know, this is out in the sun for a few months and looking dry. You can just give it a quick cleaning and add more oil to it. You don't have to worry about any sanding or anything like that. It doesn't peel. It's oil, so you just go right over it again with more oil. Very easy. Okay, this video is just about a wrap. If you guys have any suggestions on what you'd like to see me do next, please leave it in the comments. I'd be interested to see it. Also, like I said, if you want to get in on the giveaway, hit the notification and subscribe button so you don't miss out on that. And I'm going to leave you with some vanity shots. Thanks for watching.